This is a fun interview with my friend Caleb Shelton as he went from 0 interviews in 2 months, actually over 500 applications online with zilch, nothing, crickets, to getting 7 interviews in 6 weeks and landing his first job out of college as a dam engineer. Enjoy. Well, I'm excited today. We've got a great interview today with Caleb Shelton. Caleb was one of my students. Actually, 2 years ago is when he started work. But Caleb, I'm kind of curious how you found out about me, and then what you learned during your job search as you went through the process. So, Caleb, welcome to the DIY program. And I was just curious if you could maybe just tell me how you found out about the course and if you felt like there was good value there, and then how it helped you through your job search.
Sure. So I learned about the course through my neighbor, who's a family friend of yours, and then I got signed up for the course. I've been looking for a job for a few months without really any luck.
Really?
Yeah, and then I ended up signing up for the course, and through the course, I just learned a lot about how the whole process of getting hired works, how it's more than just submitting an application and crossing your fingers and hoping for the best.
Is that what you were doing? Was just hitting apply and
Yeah,
hope? Yeah.
apply and editing my cover letters as they were going out and doing probably 10 applications a day.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. 10 a day. So up until that point, you've been doing 10 per day, which means you were sending out 50 a week,
Mm-hmm.
50 job applications a week with a cover letter for each one. Where were you doing your searches? Was it on Indeed or LinkedIn or Glassdoor or Monster or where?
I was mostly doing my applications through Indeed, and
Okay.
then a few of them through LinkedIn.
Okay. And did you ever get any response?
I got a few responses, but nothing that ever materialized into anything.
And never did you get any interviews?
I had maybe one or two interviews through sending out all those applications.
So you said several months. So I'm saying, so if we do 50 a week, that's 200 a month. And you went how many months? 2 or 3?
I would say 2 or 3, yeah.
Oh my gosh. So you're talking about almost 500.
Yeah.
500 applications on Indeed and crickets, nothing.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel during that time? Was it kind of frustrating, or were you just like, what's wrong with me? Or did you feel like you were kind of, had this L on your,
It
maybe it's
was
L.
it was frustrating for me. I didn't know if it was something with my resume that wasn't clicking with people,
Right.
or what it was, because when I was coming out of college, it was in pretty much the height of COVID. So I had an
That's
internship.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
So I had an internship lined up that ended up getting canceled. And so I didn't have the experience people were looking for. And I kept thinking, this is the reason that I'm not getting any interest, is because I don't have this internship. But it turns out it's just I wasn't sticking out
Yeah.
from the rest of the applications people were sending in.
Right. 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 So for you, COVID kind of ruined your opportunities to have an internship, and then once you graduated, you're like, I've got no experience. People are gonna look at me and go,
Right.
he's got no experience. I mean, he's worked at Arby's or something, but he's not. He's never done any civil engineering. So
Right.
wow, wow. Well, did you? So you gone months, and then I guess through a family friend, David Pretty, he said, "Hey, buddy of mine knows how to help people find jobs." So you paid the money, joined the course, and what was the first lesson that maybe you learned in the course?
The first thing I learned in the course was to have an active LinkedIn page and have a page that welcomes recruiters and interviewers into your page. Because the more attractive your LinkedIn page looks, the more they're going to be clicking through it and looking at it.
Right, right, right. And so So you said, okay, first week I'm just gonna update your LinkedIn profile. Was it hard to do, or was it kind of straightforward? Not that hard to do.
It was pretty straightforward. A lot of it is kind of just editing stuff from your resume to get all your experiences and everything in there, so it looks like your resume, but also it's easy information for someone that's on your profile to look and understand it.
Right. So now I'm sharing your LinkedIn profile here, and one of the things we talked about in our course, and what I love about your LinkedIn profile is just so many great things here. But the part that really stood out to me is you put your university here, you fly the flag. Hey, I went to school here, and then your background images were amazing. Your professional photo. I guess you made that somewhere where you were at a meeting or a conference or what?
Yeah, that was actually at a booth at my church where I was working
Okay.
at the time.
Okay. And so then you said, I'm interested in environmental engineering. That's what you got your degree here, environmental engineering. And so you decided to put, let's see, one, two, three, four, five, six photos, kind of highlighting things that you were interested in. Did you? And it sounded like you were, water, wastewater. I'm not sure. Is this agronomy or sustainable irrigation or
Yes,
what?
sustainable farming.
Okay. And then obviously wind power, solar, and then dams. And in one of the reasons, or at least you tell me, why did you use those photos?
I use these photos because it portrayed a message of the things that piqued my interest. So when I was in college, we had to design our own water treatment plant, and so I understood the ins and outs of that, and I felt comfortable talking about that. So I put it on my page
Yeah.
because I felt comfortable with it. And then I've always been intrigued by renewable sources of energy, so I put those on my page as well because that's kind of the reason why I decided to go with environmental engineering, was to make a sustainable impact with something like that.
Right. Right.
And then I added the picture of the dam there because I like water and lakes and streams and everything. So
Yeah.
why not incorporate something that you enjoy?
Absolutely. And one of the things I teach in my course, and obviously you picked it up, is even though this is about Caleb, and it is your LinkedIn profile is kind of an autobiography, but it's not. Even though it's about you, it's not written for you. It's written really for the recruiters and the hiring managers that are going to be looking at your LinkedIn profile, right?
Right.
So when they see it, they go, "Oh, he's doing solar. That's what we do." Or he's water wastewater. That's what we do. Or I guess dams.
Yeah.
Dams kind of what you're doing now. So I assumed that they saw this and went, "Oh, he's interested in what we do."
Yep.
Wow. So tell me, so the first week you updated your LinkedIn profile, and then you actually get into the meat of reaching out and connecting with different companies in the area. But it didn't happen overnight. I mean, you didn't get hired overnight. It took you a 2 or 3 more months, right? How long was your job search after you implemented the DIY program?
It was probably about a month and a half to 2 months, I'd say.
Okay. And what was it that what did you feel like you were getting more response, or you were starting to actually have conversations with people?
Yeah, I felt like I was. I was mostly following up with people that I had applied with. I'd applied for jobs at their companies.
Right.
And so it's important to reach out to people at the company, and just when you send it, don't just click connect. Put just like a brief 1 to 2 sentence message, and just kind of let them know like, hey, I applied. And then as you reply, they'll have access to your profile, and so it's easier. They don't have to wait for a piece of paper to come across their desk. and look at
Yes.
your application. They just have your profile in front of you, which is basically a shell of your resume.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you started reaching out on LinkedIn, connecting with people, and then um, so in the few weeks, you said it almost took you almost 2 months. Did you um, how many interviews did you get during that next 2 months when you were doing the program?
I had probably 5 to 7 interviews, I would say.
What? Really? Wow.
Yeah.
So you went from zero interviews, almost sounds like you sent out 500 applications, zero interviews to 5 to 7 in a couple of months, which is at least one a week. Tell me about how those went. Were they consulting companies or was it EPD or who did you talk to?
I had two with the EPD, one with safety and one with air quality, and then the rest were with private consulting firms.
Okay, okay. And how'd those interviews go? Were you excited about them, nervous, or?
I was nervous just because I felt like I was lacking experience needed,
Yeah.
but I had enough coursework from school and enough real life experience from school that I felt like I could apply that knowledge to kind of supplement for the lack of experience I had.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I kind of just let that work kind of speak for itself and explain it the best I could and the most in depth I could.
Sure, sure. And the one thing I tell people is, look, everybody was at your level at some point in their career, right? It's
Right.
not like they're going, they just go, oh, he's an entry level engineer, and yeah, I didn't have any experience, but what the heck, we need someone that has the ability to learn and
Right.
grow. And it sounds like you've done great. So finally, you interview with the folks at EPD, and how did that process go? And it sounded like you interviewed. Is it with your current boss that you interviewed there at EPD?
Yeah, so I interviewed with my current boss and then my former boss. So I was hired, and then 2 weeks later, the manager of the program retired,
Oh,
and
wow.
then my current manager took over. So I interviewed with both of them, and then one of my coworkers was also on the interview.
Okay.
But
Wow.
from what I understand, things have changed now because when I was going through, you would interview for individual jobs for the EPD, and now it's like you apply for environmental engineer, and then anyone who's looking for one sits in. All the managers will sit in on one call,
Oh, wow.
and
Okay.
then they kind of have a pick of who they want and who would be better for each one.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Well,
it's less interviews, but you're getting to a more
audience.
people that are looking for candidates.
Right. Now, are those face to face interviews or are those like on a Teams call or something?
Those were all virtual. I didn't have any in-person interviews. They were all
Wow.
virtual.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So you got hired never having actually shaken hands with your boss.
Correct.
Okay. Wow. So then when it got to that point and he was like, I'm ready to make you an offer, were you excited? It was like, oh, yeah. Uh, and did he make his offer over the phone and tell you, hey, we want to pay you this kind of salary and you get this kind of vacation time or what?
I was actually contacted by the head of HR. He
Okay.
said that they were going to be extending me a job offer next week and outlined
Okay.
salary and benefits and all the meat of the non-working side.
Congratulations, man. That's awesome. That's
Thank
really
you.
cool. Very cool. Wow. That's amazing. So it sounds like it really made a difference. You were almost getting frustrated, just banging up against the wall, not really knowing how to interview to or how to even get noticed. I just tell people, look, it's not easy to get noticed these days, right?
Yes.
And so then once you start getting noticed, all of a sudden, recruiters are seeing you going, oh, he's one of us. And then you started getting those interviews. Let me ask you, did you ever get really discouraged and just like, this is and what kept you going? Because I think a lot of people, they suffer with a couple of things. One's just imposter syndrome, and yeah, they gave me a degree, but I'm not really an engineer yet. I've got a degree, but I have no experience. So how did you overcome that? And then the second question is, how did you keep going?
Yeah, it was definitely discouraging, and I did have those doubts of, I have my degree, but how am I actually going to get to use it? And that's kind of what kept me motivated, was basically just I'd taken the coursework, gone through it all. It takes a lot to pass engineering school. It's not a walk in the park.
No, it's not.
So
they don't give out degrees. No, you got to earn them. Yeah, you earn them.
Yeah, so I got through it, and what kept me motivated was I just wanted to use the knowledge I had learned to make an impact on my community.
Yeah.
And that's what kept me going.
Wow, good for you. Well, man, I'm so glad that you kept going, that you didn't give up. Let me ask you, when in the course, was there a point where you went, not only do I agree this is good material, but I'm really being encouraged? What was it, an encouraging experience going through the course?
Yeah, it was encouraging because there were so many changes that I made to the way I was approaching getting a job. And so I was doing things differently and seeing positive results. So It was encouraging going through the program.
Yeah. It's always fun. I just say you're going to find your job half the time and you're going to have fun doing it. And the reason it's fun is because you're getting response. You're getting good vibes back. And that's always fun, When you sit there and you apply and you hear nothing, it's like, and you try, you write your resume a little different. You might do this, but if all you do is hit apply, it's not fun because nobody's calling you. It can be really discouraging. So I just say, man, when people are calling you and you've got interviews lined up and you're having conversations, it's a lot more fun. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, very good. Well, any suggestions or tips that you go, this was my favorite? Was there anything that was the favorite?
I really enjoyed revamping my LinkedIn profile. I ended up, that banner that I have on my profile, I made that. I just looked up the custom dimensions of it and then saved a picture on my computer and then just cropped photos into it.
Yeah.
And I think it looks nice. It's not just like one basic picture. It's a bunch of other things that kind of show what I'm interested in.
Absolutely.
So I enjoyed that a lot.
Dude, you hit it out of the park, and that's why I want to use yours as an example, is you hit it out of the park. I mean, you hit all the right notes, because oftentimes, especially when you first start out, you don't have enough experience in one area or another. You don't know who, or you don't know exactly what people may be looking for. So you took those elements, the dam, water, wastewater treatment plants, the solar and wind power. You took all of those elements, put them on there. So you're really covering an enormous market, so that when people look, they go, oh, that photo, he's one of us. He's interested in what we're doing. And, it's not an accident. I don't think it's an accident that you had a dam on your profile and you ended up working for Safe Dams. I don't think there was, it told them immediately. They look at your LinkedIn profile and go, oh, he's interested in what we're doing. We got to talk to this guy. And so it worked out. So congratulations to you, man. I'm just so excited for you.
Thank you.
It's really cool. So 2-year anniversary. And it sounds like you, not only do you like dams, it sounds like you really feel like that's the trajectory where you want to go in your career, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. There's no two that are the same. It's always unique problem solving and unique situations that you're put in.
Right, absolutely. Well, man, I'm so proud of you. Congratulations, and I really appreciate you showing up today.
Thank you.
I hope you've enjoyed today's podcast. Every episode my goal is to make this podcast fun, entertaining, educational, and empowering. If you enjoyed today's podcast, please leave us a 5-star review and subscribe on Apple, Google, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And if you'd like to get information on how to update your LinkedIn profile, visit www.diyjobsearch.com. So that's all for today. Be safe, have a great week, and we'll see you next time. God bless you. Bye-bye.